Hello again. 2 videos in a day. Aren't I lucky? I just made a previous video about chapters 12 to 20, and thought I'd make another one while I'm here, since I'm feeling the spirit, feeling the energy. I'll continue reading the Book of Mormon. I'm going to start on chapter 2, and we'll go from there and see how the spirit takes us. So if you want to read along, you can contact local missionaries. I usually put a link down below, and you can click on them and talk to them. They'll organize for you to get a free copy of the Book of Mormon. You can also go on the website, Latter-day Saint Church. Just Google Latter-day Saints, and there's like a main website with you can just read a digital copy there. It's free, no issues at all. No need to create an account. You can just read it. Yeah, let's read through. Feel free to read along or just listen. It's perfectly okay. And try to keep these videos relatively short, because I know you guys are busy and there's a lot of stuff out there for you guys to do. I've been in that situation too. If I make these videos too long, it's easy to tune out. Make them too short. I've got to wave. So I try and keep them between 5 and 10 minutes. Just be respectful of your time. So let's go. Chapter 2. Lehi takes his family into the wilderness by the Red Sea. They leave their property. Lehi offers a sacrifice to the Lord and teaches his sons to keep the commandments. Laman and Lemuel murmur against their father. Nephi is obedient and prays in faith. The Lord speaks to him, and he is chosen to rule over his brethren, around 600 BC. For behold, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto my father, yea, even in a dream, and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Lehi, because of the things which thou hast done, and because thou hast been faithful, and declared unto this people the things which I commanded thee. Behold, they seek to take away thy life. And it came to pass that the Lord commanded my father, even in a dream, that he should take his family and depart into the wilderness. And it came to pass that he was obedient unto the word of the Lord, wherefore he did as the Lord commanded him. And it came to pass that he departed into the wilderness, and he left his house and land of his inheritance, and his gold, and his silver, and his precious things, and took nothing with him. Save it were his family, and provisions and tents, and departed into the wilderness. And he came down by the borders near the shore of the Red Sea, and he travelled in the wilderness, in the borders which are nearer the Red Sea. And he did travel in the wilderness with his family, which consisted of my mother Sariah, and my elder brothers, who were Laman, Lemuel, and Sam. And it came to pass that when he had travelled 3 days in the wilderness, he pitched his tent in a valley by the side of a river of water. And it came to pass that he built an altar of stones, and made an offering unto the Lord, and gave thanks unto the Lord our God. And it came to pass that he called the name of the river Lemon, and it emptied into the Red Sea, and the valley was in the borders near the mouth thereof. And when my father saw that the waters of the river emptied into the fountain of the Red Sea, he spake unto Lemon, saying, O that thou mightest be like unto this river, continually running into the fountain of all righteousness. And he also spake unto Lemuel, O that thou mightest be like unto this valley, firm and steadfast, and immovable, in keeping the commandments of the Lord. Now this he spake because of the stiff-neckedness of Laman and Lemuel. For behold, they did murmur in many things against their father, because he was a visionary man. He had led them out of the land of Jerusalem, to leave the land of their inheritance, and their gold, and their silver, and their precious things, to perish in the wilderness. And this they said he had done because of the foolish imaginations of his heart. And thus Laman and Lemuel, being the eldest, did murmur against their father. And they did murmur because they knew not of the dealings of that God who had created them. Neither did they believe that Jerusalem, that great city, could be destroyed, according to the words of the prophets. And they were like unto the Jews who were at Jerusalem, who sought to take away the life of my father. And it came to pass that my father did speak unto them in the valley of Lemuel, with power, being filled with the Spirit, until their frames did shake before him. And he did confound them, that they durst not utter against him. Wherefore they did as he commanded them. And my father dwelt in a tent. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, being exceedingly young, nevertheless being large in stature, and also having great desires to know of the mysteries of God, wherefore I did cry unto the Lord, and behold, he did visit me, and did soften my heart, that I did believe all the words which had been spoken by my father. Wherefore I did not rebel against him like unto my brothers. So we'll stop just before the end of chapter 17. A few things jumped out at me in that one. It was very interesting. Firstly, it talks about the fact that he abandoned everything at the command of God. God said, go to the wilderness, and he went. He just packed up his stuff, sold it all off. We don't know. My understanding is that he was a wealthy man from a wealthy family. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. Please correct me down below if you know better than I. Most of you probably would. But from what I'm reading from here, he was a wealthy man with gold and silver and such. And he gave it all up, took the bare essentials. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And took nothing with him, save were his family and provisions and tents, and departed into the wilderness. So it's the equivalent of you or I selling all our stuff and moving country, but like everything. And there's more than we call them tree changes here in Australia, where people live in the city and they sell up and reskill and move to the country. Tree change. There's also the concept of sea change, where you'll move from the city to a coastal town. There's quite a few in Australia, of course. We're a massive island. Excuse me. And so sea change, so you'll move to a smaller community by the sea, obviously, and enjoy the lifestyle there. But this is not that. This is not him downsizing and having fun at the beach. This is him understanding that God's calling him to go to the wilderness, and he did. And doesn't say here that he doubted himself. From what I understood, he never doubted it. He just obeyed. And like, do we in the modern age have that kind of strength? Would we be able to do so if we did so? And the second part was how he rebuked his sons. So he was obviously aware that his sons were not content. So he started to gently, or maybe not so gently, but very clearly make it clear where they were lacking in their faith. And saying, I'll read it again. Saying, about his son, saying unto Laman, oh, that thou mightest be like unto this river, continually running into the fountain of all righteousness. Meaning, I wish you were like this. I wish you were more righteous, my son. I love you, but you could do a healthy dose of righteousness right now. And he spake unto Lemuel, oh, that thou mightest be like unto this valley, firm and steadfast and immovable in keeping the commandments of the Lord. Meaning, I wish you'd keep the commandments of the Lord, my son. I love you, but I need you to kind of obey a bit better. Which, And he said this because of the stiff-neckedness of Laman and Lemuel, for they did murmur. Now that's the other thing that kind of jumped out at me, is the fact that I guess being, I appreciate why they were not content. I don't agree, but I have the benefit of reading the Book of Mormon. I have the benefit of knowing how it ends. And when you have the end in sight, it's a lot easier to keep moving forward. They didn't have the end in sight. They didn't believe their father. They didn't understand that God was dealing with their father, that God was dealing with their father. And they didn't understand the question. They just thought their father had just lost it and was dragging them out to the desert. And like obedient sons, they followed. Because that was the culture then, as it should be now. But, if our fathers told us to sell our stuff and go, would we do so? Could we do so? How would we feel doing so? Not knowing the right or wrong of it, not knowing how it would end. Like I said, I had the benefit of knowing how it ends, but these two didn't. So, it's interesting. And the other part I liked was how Nephi, facing all this, seeing his father, seeing his brothers, they're obviously not agreeing. He could have easily followed their path and be guided by them. But instead, what did he do? He turned to God. And I'll read it here, having great desires to know the mysteries of God, wherefore I did cry unto the Lord, and behold, he did visit me, and did soften my heart, that I did believe all the words which had been spoken unto my father. So he must have had his doubts, because if you cry to the Lord, it means you ask questions to get an answer. So he, like we would in this day and age, appealed to God in prayer, and through prayer, he asked God for wisdom. He asked God, as we should all pray daily, we should all pray for wisdom. And God answered his prayer, as he would answer our prayers. In this case, God visited him and spoke to him directly. And softened my heart that I did believe all the words. So God, I apologize, I correct myself. God softened his heart and helped him understand what he was teaching his father and helped build his faith. As the Holy Spirit works through us, we can speak out, but we have to listen within, is my understanding. So we're going to stop at 17. If you have any respectful questions or any comments down below, please post them. If I can answer them, someone wiser than I will hopefully step in and assist. We've had a great number of people coming through and enjoying the channel and commenting, and I love it. Even those who may not agree, they've been doing so in a very respectful way, and I have to give credit where credit is due. I'm always enjoying respectful, discussion. I think it's what builds strength and builds faith. And it's cold here in Sydney, hence I'm always wearing this. So please don't think I'm making all these videos in one day. I'm really not. You can tell by the growing of my beard. It's all done on different days. But I'll also post a link down below. If wherever you are in the world, if you want to speak to missionaries, click the link and have a chat. If anything I've said or read inspires any interest. God bless you. Go to church if you can, when you can. And I love you.